I absolutely love Shane Hollander from Heated Rivalry. People have been telling me for weeks, oh, you need to watch Heated Rivalry, you need to watch Heated Rivalry. I did it, and, as expected, it's peak. But the one thing I didn't expect, the one thing that absolutely shocked me that I just fell in love with, was Shane Hollander and him as autistic representation. I could talk for hours about how much I love Shane Hollander as an autistic person, simply because he is not the stereotype. It is so fucking refreshing to see autism in a way that is not like, yes, some of the things that he does, they are stereotypical. It's not like a completely new take on autism. But what I like about it is how well portrayed it is, and how well some of the signs of him being autistic carry through. I love that it doesn't have to completely rely on autistic tropes to make it obvious that the character is autistic. I mean, me personally, I clocked it in the first episode, but it's in the little things. Here's my thing. Whenever there's an autistic character, a lot of the times there are certain signs or character traits that writers really lean into to really display like this is an autistic character. And I love that they don't have to fall back on those tropes with Shane, because it kind of creates this image of autism as being like this one-dimensional thing. If they're only portraying it in a certain way on TV, it kind of alleviates a lot of the diversity that autism actually has, because we're only really seeing one representation of autism. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's just a specific genre of autistic characters that exists. And am I saying that all of those characters are harmful stereotypes? Not all of them. Some of them are really well done. But it is so refreshing to see something that is not that distinct individualistic stereotype of what an autistic character is. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you think autistic character, there are just examples that come to mind, and notice how they're all like the same character in a different font, or they all have these really obvious traits. But here's the thing, me personally, as an autistic person, I have, I would say, pretty great social skills. Does that mean that I'm not autistic? According to the doctors, no. There are autistic people out there that do have good social skills. That's not a singular trait of autism. Just because you're autistic, that doesn't automatically mean that you have horrendous social skills, you can't speak to anyone, right? I would say, again, I have pretty great social skills. I'm not saying that that applies to Shane, but I'm talking like more in the general context of autism. I feel like that's a trait that's like never represented with autistic characters. So often are there autistic characters that are just horrendous at social interaction. Like, notably bad to the point that they don't have a lot of friends. And while yes, that is true to a lot of autistic people, a lot of autistic people don't have a lot of social awareness, you know, they might struggle with social interaction. So I'm not saying that all of these depictions of autistic people are necessarily accurate. I'm not saying that all autistic people have good social skills, but what I am saying is that autism is not a one-dimensional condition. There's no one way to do it. It's very diverse. There are a lot of different ways that it manifests in people. Man, I don't think that's the right word, but I can't think of another. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's